Hey guys, it's Mahel here, and today I'm going to be giving you my top 5 GCSE revision tips for 2019 and how you can get all A stars or level 9s at GCSE. Before we get into the video, make sure to smash the like button and comment below what other videos you want to see from me, and if you have any questions about GCSE revision, all down in the comments below. Starting off with tip number 1. Make sure you start your revision as early as possible. The reason being is that the earlier you start your revision, the more time you have to revise, and therefore the more content you can get through. You don't want to leave it till the end of Easter, where you're literally a week before your first exam, because then you're going to be panicking and be like, oh my god, I don't know what to revise, and I don't know what to prioritize. I haven't planned this through, I haven't thought it through, and I'm really tight on time. So we are actually in, I believe, the 21st of February today. So it really is in your interest to start as early as possible in order to have as much time as possible to revise and really nail down those weak bits, whether it be subjects or just topics within subjects. Tip number 2, begin with your weakest subjects and topics and then end with your strongest subjects and topics. This is especially the case if subjects don't have topics which interlink with each other. For example, let's say you were doing business and one topic was on finance and another topic was on HR. Finance won't link with HR most of the time, and therefore, let's say you are weaker at finance than you were with HR. You can start with finance, go through that, make sure you're confident with it, and then move on to HR, which you are strong and familiar with. After all, there's no point in going over topics that you are strong with, confident with rather, when there are topics that you are weak with that you haven't really covered too much. It's all about priorities. Even in life, generally, you should just go for your priorities, go for the highest priority to the lowest priority, and to rank your revision, start with your weakest and then go down to your strongest. So your highest priority is your weakest subjects and topics, and your lowest priorities are your strongest topics and subjects. Tip number 3, go beyond past papers by answering questions from revision guides and revision booklets. Now, past papers are great. I highly advise that you do those, because a lot of the time questions will repeat themselves, and if they don't, the topics will. So if you answer a question on cell cloning one year, the next year it might ask a particular question on Dolly the sheep having a cell cloned. So even though it's a different question, the topic is similar. So if you practice one question, chances are that in your actual 2019 exam paper, a question may be different, but the topic itself will repeat itself, and therefore because you've reinforced knowledge by revising, you are ready to go with those questions. However, it will get to a point where you actually run out of exam questions to revise from, especially if you're on a new specification. So what you can do to combat this is go through questions on revision guides, because often there'll be revision guides that have their own questions and their own set of answers that you can answer, and really all this will do is give you more questions to revise from, and therefore give you more possibility of knowing a question in your new exam paper and thinking, I've got this. Ultimately, your goal is to get your knowledge up to scratch and be as prepared as possible, and therefore by answering as many questions as possible, whether they have been official questions from past papers or unofficial questions that a revision guide has come up with. Ultimately, it's all about reinforcing the knowledge from different topics, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter which order you learn topics in, you need to know it all, but not all of it is going to come up. So bearing that in mind, you want to make sure your knowledge on every single topic is as strong as possible, so that, let's say for example, you weren't so strong with algebra. Let's say there was something on algebra and it happened to come up and you hadn't revised that so much because you were revising everything else or select topics, then you've kind of screwed yourself. So it's best that you revise every single topic as much as you can in order to be as prepared as possible. Tip number 4, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but revise with a friend. Now, when I say revise with a friend, people have many friends, but you would obviously divide friends as school friends that you talk to in a lesson, but you don't talk to outside of school. Friends that you talk to outside of school, but you don't really call them like your best friend. And then obviously your best friends, the people that you vibe with. Now, do not revise with the people that you vibe with. The reason I say this is because you don't want to end up talking about what happened last night, the gossip going around school, last night's episode of IB for Weekender, for example. You want to revise with someone that you talk to comfortably about school, like different subjects or whatever, but you wouldn't tell your personal secrets about, you wouldn't gossip with, you wouldn't really trust on that level. Why? Because if you revise with one of those sort of people, it will give you less reason to be distracted. And because if you're revising with your best friend, you could end up talking about anything and you'll lose concentration and you'll lose the bigger picture, which is revising for your GCSEs. However, if you revise with a school friend, someone that's, for example, in your class but you don't really vibe with, but you at least get on with, then you have no reason to talk about what happened last night and more reason to talk about your actual revision. And you'll be more likely to, heck, you might even make a new friend, but at the same time, you'll be revising for your subjects. You can test each other by making quizzes on Quizlet or on Google Forms. You can even make presentations and present to each other. This is a really good method actually, because in order to present you need to know what you're talking about, unless you're one of those people that waffle. However, if you are waffling whilst presenting to your friend, then you know yourself that you're screwed. So by ensuring that you're making a presentation that you know that you know what to talk about in, then you are confident with your own revision and therefore you are making sure that you know a topic. So pick out a certain topic and literally just present it. Imagine it was your final exam and it was a presentation. It was worth 50% off your entire grade, for example, and it was your one shot. So you are going to make sure that you revise and revise and revise till you know every single bit about that topic to a point where you are able to present it as if your life was on the line. What you would do is you would be the one presenting and then your friend can take notes, and then you can ask questions on that topic after to your friend to make sure they were listening, and then you can quiz them like that. And then you can take turns to swap. So then your friend decides to present this time, however, on a different topic. You take notes, and then you take a few minutes to read through your notes, put it away. Your friend asks questions on the topic that they presented, and then you ask the questions. And this is a great way to reinforce knowledge and really just get it stuck in your head. Because let's say you're sitting in an exam and a question came up, you might be thinking to yourself, I remember my friend said this. And therefore, you are going to know what you are writing about when it comes to the exam. Last but not least, so tip number 5, don't be afraid to ask your teacher questions or even ask for more revision work. Now, I'm very guilty of this. So in year 11, during science, so I did core science additional, so science A and science B I believe it is, and I got given past papers every single week, questions to do, and what would happen is that we'd give these past papers back and our teacher would mark these past papers and give us feedback. However, because the teacher didn't collect the past papers themselves, it was literally pass it along and then it goes to the teacher's desk, what I used to do is not do it at all. And I know this is that bad, but this is why I'm telling you, because it's a personal mistake that I made. Yes, I ended up getting a B, but I could have got an A or an A star had I done the past papers and had I put the work in. So you might be thinking, Mahel, how are you advising me on something when you are culprit of basically not doing it? That's what I mean. That is why I'm in the perfect position to say it, because I made a mistake so that you didn't have to. And so don't be afraid to literally, if you get a past paper, do it, attempt it, even if it's rubbish, even if you think it's whack and you wrote absolute BS. Just do it and give it into the teacher and ask for feedback, because then they can give the feedback, and if they really see that you're struggling, then they can offer you additional support. I know at my secondary school, there was after school sessions sometimes for different subjects where you can revise together and as a group, but a lot of people didn't turn up, so it's actually quite focused groups of around 8 people. So which was really good, because obviously the less people in a focus group, the more attention that you're going to get from the teacher, as there's only a certain amount of attention that your teacher can give out, and so because it's distributed across less people, you have more attention per person. And if your teacher doesn't give out past papers, if they're literally just going through revision PowerPoints and that's it, then don't be afraid to go up to your teacher and be like, I really want to do well, can you please set me past papers or custom past papers? Chances are that your school actually has a question bank where they can create their own exam papers, and this is also really helpful because obviously you have set past papers from previous years, but then if you were to create your own past papers, then you are likely to learn the knowledge better, because let's say you do a past paper twice or 3 times, you kind of learn the format of that past paper rather than learning the actual content. So if you're mixing up questions into brand new past papers, it stops that, and it actually make sure that you learn the answers to those questions, and by learning the answers, you're learning content from different topics, and by learning content from different topics, you can reinforce that knowledge when it comes to your actual exam in 2019. And that basically sums it up for our top 5 tips to get 9s and A stars and your GCSEs in 2019. If you do want to check out more GCSE videos, then over here there is going to be a information card where there is more GCSE videos, or if you want to check out my other videos, then there are other playlists also in that information card. So on the screen there should be an eye in the corner that I pointed at, and if you click that, there are different playlists for GCSE, A-level and university. And if you go into my channel, then there are other playlists where you can check out my other videos. I hope this video has been really helpful to you guys and girls, because obviously we're not far away from GCSE exam season. Currently it is February, so literally March, April, May, so 3 months until your GCSE exams. It's really scary, but trust me, all this hard work is going to pay off, because after your GCSEs, you're going to have a very lengthy summer holiday, like one that you've never had before. And with the way climate is going right now, it's looking like a really hot summer, so you can literally just chill like you'd never have before and really de-stress from all this revision that you're going to do. Again, make sure to leave a like and comment below. Make sure to follow me on social media, that's at MahelX on Twitter, at Mahel Khan on Instagram, and official Mahel Khan on Facebook. The links will be in the description below. Let me know what other videos you want to see in the comments below as well. I hope you have enjoyed this, and I hope you have found this helpful. This has been Mahel, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.